Hello and welcome to the Rams pregame show delivered by Little Caesars, the official pizza of the LA Rams. I'm JB, along with my friends and colleagues DeMarco Farr, Maurice Jones-Drew, and we're greeting you from Glendale, Arizona, SoFi Stadium East, the new Rams house, home of the Arizona Cardinals, but site of this wild card game, the Vikings and the Rams for the right to advance to face the Philadelphia Eagles. We know it's a hard moment to be talking about football, and let us start by extending our heartfelt sympathies for those of you who have experienced loss in this past week, our gratitude for those of you who are supporting victims, whether it's in your personal home, whether you're a first responder, a firefighter. There's just nothing that we could say to express how grateful we are for what you've done this past week and continue to do to protect us and the city that we love.
You're here.
As for this game, what a transformation here in Glendale. The Rams organization has done incredible work to make this feel as much like a home game as possible as the Rams look to win this wild card contest against the Vikings. DeMarco, MJD, opening thoughts.
I was happy to see you. I thought this was like, somebody playing a joke on me walking through here, but it is what it is. We're in Arizona. We've been here before. You got to play a football game. It feels like one of those college bowl games on a neutral site, so it does not matter where you kick off. It only matters best team on game day. So here we are in Arizona. Let's hope the Rams are up to snuff.
No, I hear you. Only concern is Rams are used to playing on turf at home, your natural grass surface, right? So footing is going to be very important in this game. Biggest thing, though, is for shout out to the Arizona Cardinals for allowing this to happen, right? And obviously the Rams organization for coming together and collabing together and make this what it can be. Now it's time for the players to go out there and perform.
As they've done consistently and historically in the face of community crisis, the Los Angeles Rams and the Kroenke family are at the forefront of recovery efforts once again. On Friday, they announced a $1 million donation to the LAFD Foundation, benefiting both county and city fire departments and the American Red Cross. Today, you will see Rams players and coaches and staff wearing custom LAFD hats and shirts. I want to let you know that game-worn jerseys and select game-used footballs will be auctioned off, with all of those proceeds going to support the American Red Cross. All right, so a different venue under much different circumstances than we were expecting, but with kickoff fast approaching, let's dig into this matchup. Sean McVay has said that his franchise is built for this, that no sports organization has managed to turn tragedy into sports triumph like the Rams. How can that benefit them tonight in their endeavors?
This franchise, this team, all these teams since the Rams have come back have been through a lot together, and just everything, traveling to Europe, having to figure out different time zones and excelling and with all these different adversities that come at you. So this team is built for just about anything, can play anywhere. Even when we talk about having to go on the road or being outnumbered at home, that hasn't stopped them at all. So this won't be a reason or an excuse for this football team not to perform coming down here. So they have been through a lot. They have excelled through it. This will be another step in that direction. So, moving the venue should not change this team's attitude whatsoever.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of Mexico City. When they went to Colorado to train in the elements, Mexico Stadium was a little messed up, so they come back to L.A., you play the Chiefs, and a barn burner, like 54-51, which was awesome. So, to me, I expect the same thing. I think Sean McVay is the mental toughness he instills in his guys, the way he challenges guys that are ready to roll.
The Rams have won here in Glendale every year under his leadership, save for this one. Week 2 was one of the toughest losses of the season. Did not expect to have another opportunity to win in this facility, but maybe this is how it was all supposed to go. All right, let's talk quarterback comparison, because the other major advantage the Rams have here tonight is that Matthew Stafford has been to the mountaintop. He is the most seasoned veteran in the entire playoff field. Sam Darnold, conversely, Maurice, will be making his NFL playoff debut.
Yeah, I think you saw a lot of Sam Darnold's struggles against the Detroit Lions. He got a little nervous in the pocket, got hit a ton by the Detroit Lions. Will the Rams blitz? Will they play press man? I don't think so. I think they're going to go attack him a little bit differently, try to take away Justin Jefferson, force him to go to a second and third read. But Matthew Stafford, the way you put more pressure on Sam Darnold is by scoring points on the other side of the ball. I think this is going to be an offensive-driven game. You got to put up points knowing that the Minnesota Vikings are going to try to bounce back from what happened a week ago.
On the defensive side of the equation, Omar Speights was making his first NFL start the last time they faced the Minnesota Vikings. Now he's entrenched in the middle of their defense. The Rams are as healthy as they've been all season on both sides of the football, but they will have their hands full against Justin Jefferson and these Vikings.
Oh, no doubt. Look, this is the difference between the regular season and the postseason is this is where the all-pros reside. Every team you're going to face from here on out is good. So this defense, Omar Speights and company, is going to have to take a step forward. And when you start breaking down the X's and the O's, how do you cover Justin Jefferson? You can't. You're going to need to cover him with two. So the one thing they can't prepare for is what happens with Braden Fisk or Jared Verse if they decide to take it up a notch, if they raise their intensity. Because one thing is obvious from the film. If you get after Sam Darnold, there's a whole different Sam Darnold that pops out. So the first two guys that have the biggest shot would be Fisk and Verse. So you think about those two guys, Chris Shula coming off the bench, make sure you get those calls in quick, let those guys get their hand in the dirt and attack that quarterback.
I'm really intrigued by tight ends and safeties tonight. Both of these teams, I think, have the option to play out of 12 or even 13 personnel a lot. How will the defensive coordinators match? Will they show base personnel? Will they stay in their three safety looks? Because especially with the return of John Johnson, the Rams really have a lot of options on their back end.
We were just talking about 12 personnel and how much he likes 12 personnel and how much I hate it from a defensive perspective because it balances everything out. I can't get a beat on you. From an offensive perspective, you can get the ball down the field. So we expect a lot of 12 personnel on both sides today.
Yeah, and the 12 personnel puts the defense in a mismatch, right? You have two tight ends, guys that are bigger than safeties, faster than linebackers, having to be covered by one of those guys. And so the Rams having that ability to have John Johnson back gives you a chance to match up against T.J. Hawkinson. To be honest, that's the guy, that's the X factor for me for the Minnesota Vikings. If he gets going, that's going to be a tough day.
All right, before we close it out, time for our delivery of the game delivered by Little Caesars, official pizza of the LA Rams. Each week we take a look at who will deliver tonight against the Vikings in the wild card round. You're thinking?
I'm going to let Maurice go. I want to see who you're going with. Who you're going with first. Go ahead. Because I know who I got, but go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to go with Sean McVay, and this is the reason being. The last time they played the Vikings on a Thursday night, Sean had the advantage. Offensively, he knew exactly where he was going with the play calls. They were in and out. Stafford was executing at a high level. Can you duplicate that again? Can you get the Minnesota Vikings out of the exotic blitzes and exotic coverages by staying ahead of the chains?
Okay, can I just excuse myself for 1 second? Hey, Cooper, they think you're washed. There's my guy. Cooper Kupp has to show up big today. And for that matter, Matthew Stafford, they think you're old. They think this is the end of the road for you. Let's see. Those two guys together today with Puka Nacua, they have to step up big.
All right, I'm going to choose the Rams' offensive line against his Vikings defense. We did not feel the full force of Brian Flores and all of his blitz packages because of what you guys described. The Rams knew they had Puka. The Vikings didn't. The Rams dictated with their personnel and cooled off what is a top 5 Minnesota defense in the National Football League. You know that Brian Flores is going to shoot his shot tonight. I cannot wait to see what the counters are for Sean McVay and the Rams. But it starts with protection up front for Matthew Stafford. And I also think this is the Kyren Williams game. How much removal, how many turns can you dictate to the Vikings through your removal and your running game?
Pro Bowl snub, Kyren Williams. Said it again.
Yeah, you've been touting that.
Said it again.
Now it's about the Super Bowl, not the Pro Bowl. That's a wrap on the Rams pregame show delivered by Little Caesars. Tune in at 5 Pacific time on ESPN or KABC, and you can listen to the three of us on the radio broadcast ESPN LA 710 and Jack FM 93.1. We want to thank all the fans who are journeying to make this trip to support the team here in Glendale. To those of you who could not make the trip, we're so disappointed that we can't be with you in Inglewood, but we know you'll be watching and listening and rooting as the Rams take on the Vikings. To the city of Los Angeles, stay strong, stay together, LA together. For MJD, DeMarco Farr, I'm JB Long. Rams and Vikings, the winner advances to face Philadelphia.